Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon, Roslyn.
Good afternoon, our viewers. Welcome to another episode of Workwise Business Insights. Today we'll be talking about business plan. So it's the new year, 2025. What are the plans? What do you have planned? What are the plans that you have for your business? If you already have a plan, are you going to review it or what are you going to do? So it's just to kind of talk in general. Michelle and I will do our best to talk about what business plans means for us. We'll talk about why we do business plan and how. So Michelle will talk about how she's been doing hers or what is her plan for 2025. And I'll just talk about mine. So basically it's a free flow conversation. So we'll do our best to, yeah.
Absolutely, I think
So,
you're right. The start of the new year is always a time where it feels like a blank slate. It feels
mm,
like, okay, what does the year ahead hold, and what plans am I going to make
mhm,
to make the goals that I've set actually happen?
mhm.
And I think it's difficult to do that without a clear plan of the direction that you're going in.
That's correct. Yeah. So let's start. Michelle, what is business plan? What does it mean to you for our viewers?
So, a business plan, it means to me a living, breathing strategy of where I want to go,
Mm-hmm.
the things I need to do to get to where I want to go, and all of the things that I need to think about, all the challenges that I anticipate that I might have,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can plan to make the journey as smooth as possible.
I
And I
like
say
that.
it's a living, breathing thing because nothing in life is ever straightforward, and you never
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're pretty much at the 5 year anniversary of COVID, and I know this comes up quite regularly, but I think because it's so recent in our history,
Mm-hmm.
it just stands as a sort of point in time where we can say, do you know what, you can't plan for everything, but you can think about what some of the eventualities are and
Mm-hmm.
think about how you would deal with that in your business. And without a business plan, it's hard to see how you would do that.
Yeah.
How about you?
I
What
like
does
that.
business plan mean to you?
Yeah, I think for me, before I talk about myself, I love the way you said living and breathing documents. So that means there's room for improvement, isn't it? To
Oh,
change.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like that. I like that. I like that word. Yeah. Yeah. To me, a business plan, for me is a roadmap. So, like you go on underground, you miss your way. You have that roadmap. For me, it's a roadmap for my business. And in it has my overall strategy. It has my goals and vision for the success of my business. And also on the other part, it shows how my business will operate. And again, and as we know, everybody goes into the business with a end result of making money. So it has and how my business will make money. And I think it will have overall in terms of I can change it. So the living and breathing. So opportunity for adjustment or
Yeah.
tweak is there as the year goes, along because as you know, things might happen along the way. I just want to say because recently I was having a conversation with somebody and somebody was asking me, is that a business proposal thing? So no, a business plan is different from a business proposal
Yeah.
because a business proposal would be kind of like you pitching your products or your
Yeah.
services
Yeah.
to a prospective customer. So it's different from business plan. So yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's an important distinction, particularly for
yeah,
anybody who's just starting out. Um, yeah, I mean, if you're pitching, as you say, that's a really good um, point that a
mm,
proposal is. pretty much like a pitch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas your business plan is something that I think it captures everything, doesn't it? It
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
captures a
Yeah.
bit of you, a bit of your purpose, your vision, your values, your
Mm-hmm.
mission. It's like having something where you can tell the story of your business and where
Mm-hmm.
you want to take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm,
So that is our what a business plan is. So I think the next thing I think we should talk about why. Why do we need a business plan? For the benefit of people that are just coming in to thinking about starting their business in 2025, or even somebody that are actually going into their second year this year, 2025, why do we need a business plan? Because I know some people they've actually done year one, they haven't done a proper business plan. So yeah, why do we need a business plan?
I think your point that you made when you were saying what a business plan means to you about it being a
Mm,
roadmap is
yeah.
absolutely the single best way to that's the single biggest reason I think to have one,
Mm,
in my opinion. And I think it doesn't matter how long you've been in business, it's something that you should always have,
mm-hmm,
because you're exactly right with what you say, Rosalind. If you don't have that map, then how do you know where you're going and what you're going to do to get there? I mean, if you had a destination in mind,
mm-hmm,
but you've never been there before, you wouldn't just get in your car and drive.
mm-hmm,
You'd have mapped it out or put it into the sat nav, or you would have had a look on the internet before you set off. You would have
mm-hmm,
done all of that, because otherwise it's going to make it pretty painful to try and find
mm-hmm,
where you need to go if
yeah,
you've got no idea of how to get there.
yeah, yeah. Otherwise, you'll be running your business, kind of blindly, if I can use that word, you know. Because a lot of people will say, after all, I have clear idea in my mind about what I want to achieve. I've done my market visibility, I know my market, obviously, and I have my necessary skills. So why do I need a plan? You need a plan. Like I said earlier, and Michelle actually illustrated it as well. It's a roadmap for any business, you
Gosh.
know. And also it kind of clarifies your idea, in terms of, sometimes you write something down and or you have it in your head as well. But it's actually when you then write it down, it gives you a structure, and you have a clearer picture or what is in your head. Because I think earlier on before we started recording and I said some people will say, well, I've got everything in my head. But for me personally, a good plan should be a plan that is being documented. Because when it's documented, you find that clear roadmap and you then go back to it to kind of adjust and then discover in terms of these are some of the problems that I think I need to solve earlier on in the business, or these are the things that actually I've put Z as B. I think I need to go back and rejiggle stuff around. So I think, yeah, for me, it helps you to clarify your ideas and helps you to discover problems that might arise. And also, if you then present it to somebody, a friend or somebody, business associate, or somebody even within your business, within your network, and they might even help and give feedback, you know.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I think
And
it's that
yeah,
analogy, isn't it? Two
it
heads are better
is.
than one, and if
Yeah,
you get some
yeah,
objective feedback and input from
yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
um,
Uh, and also for somebody thinking about starting business in 2025, if you don't have that business plan, it becomes the formal document, if I can use that word. Because if you then want to open a bank account, a business account, the bank will definitely they will ask for that. Or if you're actually CRS, people that works in charity and all of that, your investors, they might want to see your business plan before they can
yeah,
invest, isn't it? So
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, again, you've got to, in those situations, if you're looking for funding or a loan or pitching, then whoever you're presenting that to needs to know that
Yeah,
you've taken your business really, really seriously, and you've
yes,
done a risk assessment, and you've
yeah,
looked at the possible opportunities, threats, weaknesses.
mhm,
Doing a whole SWOT analysis, which is actually a
yeah,
really good little exercise to do
yeah,
at any time, when it comes to your business. If something comes up, possible opportunity, well,
yeah,
putting it through that sort of a framework gives you the
yeah,
chance to sort of balance everything and think, actually, is it a great opportunity, or are there more challenges than benefits?
yeah, yeah. I love when you say SWOT analysis. Very good, actually. It helps to clarify everything. So, for the benefit of our viewers, SWOT analysis is strengths, uh, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats that can actually affect your business. It helps if you want to conduct. There's a lot of things that actually a lot of businesses or a lot of business owners, they use SWOT analysis to do performance planning. And I think from what Michelle just said, just came to me now. Actually, it's a good opportunity to use SWOT analysis for your business plan. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to put in there
Yeah.
because it forces you to really think about things. It really does. And
Mm,
as you said earlier, Rosalind, if you can look at something and think, actually, now that I've written this down, I can see that I might need more resources, or
mm-hmm,
I'm not entirely sure how to do that thing, so I might need
mm-hmm,
to go and get some training, or
mm-hmm.
um, oh gosh, I'm going to need some technology to help me to deliver that particular thing. Then
Yeah.
by doing that
Yes.
analysis, you can identify it and do something about it, take action.
Yeah. 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 Or even engage the service of someone like you, isn't it? Business coach, you know, at the early stage. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah, because
Michelle.
it can be quite difficult to kind of, to your point of earlier about, well, if somebody's got it all in their head, it can actually be quite difficult to articulate it and get it
Mm-hmm.
out onto
Yeah.
paper, or to really be able to understand exactly what the business does look like. Sometimes it is useful to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
business mentor or coach, business support organisation,
Mm-hmm.
lots of opportunities to do things like that, and just
Yeah.
really get a full picture of what the business is going to look like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Michelle. So for our viewers, we talked about what business plan is. We talked about why you need business plan. So we'll be moving on to how. So if you're wondering, okay, you've talked about what, you've talked about why. So how do we do it? How do we do it? Where should we start with? And I think for me, I'll just talk about um the way I've done mine. And Michelle, feel free to talk about yours because different people they have different things. Because earlier on, Michelle used the word SWOT analysis, and I think it's the best way to actually define your what is going to contain in your business plan. I think for me is good. I mean, I'll kind of target this to anyone that haven't done it. Maybe you're going to your year two of business in 2025, or you're thinking of starting your business in 2025. Just start thinking about, you know, first thing you need to know is you describe your company and the products and the service. This must be brief, just brief, just to catch the attention of, especially if you take it to the bank, you have a
Yeah,
defined summary about what is in there. So you must have your company name if you have one. Um, and I think you should have one if you use the SWOT analysis that she was talking about. So, and then think about products or services that you want to sell. And then, yeah, describe your goal, mission of the business in just a couple of sentences as well. and which you can memorize, because earlier on I talked about business proposal. So if you then go into networking and you're trying to you meet somebody and they say, "Oh, what do you do?" That tagline quickly, in terms of mission and your goals will be something that you can memorize quickly,
That's
and
a really
then
good point.
give it up. So and then use that bit as just kind of like an elevator pitch for your document, if it makes sense. So mine is preventing people problems. So which is very good for me. So just think about based on your services or your products. So that is what number one for me anyway.
Mm,
And then that's it. Then you talk about who your customers are. Who are my customers?
yeah.
So that's
What
another
problem
one
are you
there.
solving? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Michelle, what about you?
Well, I mean, I've always been a fan of like a really detailed business plan, but I know that a lot of people find it really a little bit overwhelming. You can download a business plan template from somewhere like the Prince's Trust, or
Okay.
you can Google and find all sorts of templates. And actually, when you look at it, it can be a little bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I've recently helped a business using the business model canvas, and it's something that Startup Greenwich actually use, and it's much more high level than the full
Okay.
detailed business plan,
Okay.
and it's just that it's bullet points in different areas. So customer problem that you solve,
Mm-hmm.
business model, all
Mm-hmm.
those sorts of almost like subheadings with bullet points under each one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good for
That's a good
giving
one.
people a starting point,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, to your point of earlier, Rosalind, if you go into the bank to ask for money, you need that really full and detailed business plan.
Okay. Yeah.
Taking in the business model canvas isn't going to cut it, I don't think,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a nice stepping stone from
Mm-hmm.
getting all of the information out of your head onto a piece of paper,
Mm-hmm.
ready for putting it into a much more detailed format.
Detail. Yeah.
Um, so I think I would always have said in the past, actually, go for the full detail. Really, really write your business plan as though you were going to go to the bank. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I the type of business I run doesn't require me to be proposing for big financial investments,
Mm-hmm.
but some businesses will.
Okay.
So they will need that plan, but actually getting there can be daunting. And if you've got
Mm-hmm.
something like the business model canvas that can help you to
Mm-hmm.
get started, then I'm a big fan of that.
I like that. I like that. And I think you talked about business model in terms of all of that. And I think for people who are struggling in terms of writing it down, I love in terms of when you talked about the business model that you think maybe Greenwich Corners can use. In terms of documentation, in terms of okay, the bullet point talked about and everything,
Mm.
I would then transfer that. I use Trello board. I don't know if you've heard about Trello board.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Trello's great,
yeah,
actually. You can
Trello
use
is
that
very
for free,
good. Yeah,
can't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I use Trello board, and then everything that is in that Trello board, I then transfer into a document, and I think it helps as well. So, and
Absolutely.
I think we did similar thing, Michelle, before we started our podcast. It took us 3 months to get
Mm.
our head around, and we use another. What did we use?
Oh, the
What did we use?
Dropbox would do
Dropbox. We
it.
use Dropbox to
Yeah,
just drop it in. So Trello board is like Dropbox actually, but Trello
yeah,
board is very, very, if you're doing a project, Trello board is very good because it's there. You can go in there and you can see all the dates, the date that
yeah.
you've made some changes, the dates you've kind of amend, change it, and you actually put new ideas in there. So it's just a kind of add to what you just said about the
That's
business module template. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
thanks for raising that, actually, because
yeah,
it's a really user friendly tool,
yeah,
isn't it? And you can
yeah,
set it up as boards, or you can have it as
yeah.
lists, or you can do it, as a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on how you visualize or how you like to see your data presented, it's a really
Mm-hmm.
useful tool. So
Yeah.
that's a really good shout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. That's good. So I thought earlier on around customers. So once you've defined who your customers are, I think the next thing for me, what I did was to evaluate the target audience. So because my business is about services, I provide services. So you need to identify the people or businesses who will buy your products or who
Yeah,
buy from you. Let me put it that way. So for me, I looked for businesses, small businesses, up to 250 employees that cannot afford to have in-house HR. So basically, they outsource. So for me, evaluating my target audience as well. And I work closely again. What I do is business coaches, accountants, people who will be my added value partners that actually
yeah,
for business coaches, they'll have new people that they're actually working with. So when they then start their businesses, they start having their first employees, they can refer them to me. Similar accountants as well. Accountant they call everybody needs accountants anyway. So they might have,
yeah,
accountants may have clients that actually, they're supporting them with their payroll and everything, and they're still thinking, actually, what do I need to do? My business is getting bigger. I need somebody to support me. So those are the things that my target audience. So those are the things, and then target audience could be your people that will require your service. Then think about what are the other companies or other businesses that actually I can work well with them in terms
yeah.
of giving me businesses. So yeah.
Yeah, and as you're saying that, I'm thinking, do you know what? Sitting down and writing the information down and putting it together,
Mm-hmm.
I can see how I haven't really thought about it like that in terms of, who can I collaborate with? Whose help can I leverage? How can I reach out to people? So
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like with the way you approach it, it kind of takes it to a slightly different level,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very practical,
Mm-hmm.
useful thing to do because it's not just giving you that strategic roadmap, it's sort of giving you the day-to-day focus on the action that you need to take
Mm-hmm.
to make things happen in your business.
Yep. I think earlier on we're talking about tendering for businesses and everything. So I think that's what I do anyway. When I evaluate my target audience, it's not just about who will buy from me. I think about other professionals that actually I can work well with them. So like I said, I talked about, you know, the accountants and customers and business coaches as well. So yeah. How about you, Michelle? In terms of your value-added partners that you think you best work with that will support the growth of your business?
Yeah, I think I really value community, and I think there's a lot of benefit in working in a very community centered way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if working in community means that you can find the opportunities, as you say, to add value to somebody else, but
Mm-hmm.
then also to add value to what you do, I think
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of a better way to work. I think that's
Yeah,
everybody
community is
wins.
good. Yeah, community is good. It's good. Yeah, and we do attend fields in groups, people
Mm,
that we share interests with, vice versa. You
yeah,
refer them, they refer you, and then we can collaborate. That's how we met, isn't it? So,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm going to move on into briefly around going back to your SWOT analysis and other things that actually considered again was what are my opportunities? So it's just to think because you might think, oh, the business is small, I'm just starting out, I'm in my second year. And I think when you start putting your business plan together, you need to start thinking big, seriously. So, you think, I might be starting small, but don't think things might change, even in the space of 6 months. So, but if your business plan can accommodate that, that's why we call it roadmap. You have room to kind of go back and change. So don't start thinking, business is small. Maybe in 3 years' time, that is when you start working and start thinking big now. Start thinking, what are my opportunities? And that is the O within the SWOT analysis. We talked about your strength or the strength of your business, weaknesses, opportunities out there, and what are the threats? What are the threats for you and for your business? So, for
Yeah,
example, if you're okay,
yeah, and that's great. I think the benefit we have as small business owners is that we can be agile, can't we? So if an
yeah,
opportunity does present itself, then with a good plan, you can incorporate that into where you're going.
yeah,
Um, I think you also need to kind of be clear about what your vision is and whether or not an opportunity takes you towards your vision or whether it takes you
mm-hmm,
away from it. But I think
mm-hmm,
that agility is a real gift that we have because we can change and we can sort of diversify quite quickly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is very interesting. Kind of mentioning that as well. And I think once you think like that, Michelle, it helps you to understand your competition or your competitors.
Very true.
Because
Yeah.
it was one of the things that when I told my story around the COVID period, I invested in a certain business, engaging a business coach. And I remember one of the things that she said was, think about your direct competitors. You need
Mm,
to get to know them. And I was thinking, oh, why do I want to know them? And I think it really helps now because in terms of that, if I didn't have some project that I think I don't have the capacity to take that on, we help each other, you know, rather than turning away the clients, take the job and then give it to that person. Then we talked about commission and all of that.
yeah.
So I think understanding the competition is very good when you're thinking about your business plan. Um, every business has competition anyway. So
It's what makes
and
business business, isn't it?
yeah, so and it'd be nice to kind of list them, you know, start thinking about them because you need to think about your direct competitors, especially if you're selling products, you
Mm,
know, people who are selling the same product as you, start thinking about them and you start thinking about your indirect competitors. Those are the markets that overlaps yours, you know. So for mine is I have solicitors. Some solicitors they do employment law, but they are not actually experts in other HR services, if you know what I mean. Then you then have what other companies that are actually competing with you, and because they could be barriers, they could be your blocker, I call them blockers. Then start thinking about USP, unique selling
exactly.
points,
Yeah, because if you
your
look
point
at
of difference. Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
need to look at everybody else to see
Everybody
what
else
makes
is,
you
yeah,
different. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what makes me different from other competitors?
Yeah,
And I stand
what
out. So you need to
value?
start thinking about that. Yeah,
Yeah, what value are you
yeah,
adding others don't?
yeah. And make sure you spell it out. Spell it out. If you have to write it bold, what makes me different from other people? It's like somebody will come to you and said, okay, I've had proposal from company A and from company B offering the same service. You tell me why I should engage your
Yeah,
service. You tell me what makes you different from, you know,
yeah,
company A and B. Yeah,
yeah. Such an important point.
yeah. It really scared me, Michelle, when my business coach told me that at that particular time. I said, but why do I want to network with my competitors? And it makes sense now, to be honest with you. So, yeah,
think as well, it's interesting if you know enough about your competitors and where they get their clients from. Are they serving the same people as you, or is there a gap? You know, is there a gap there, or you know, are they having success in their particular demographic? You know, there's a lot to learn, isn't there,
There's a
from
lot.
doing a little bit of digging.
Yeah, there's a lot. There is a lot. And build a financial plan. Remember, we talked about this before. And I think I shared this when I first started, around all of that. Build a financial plan if you're starting a business seriously. Some people might be doing the business as a side job, or some people might actually decide to leave their corporate role. Do you have enough money or enough finances to sustain you once you start making money? So, yeah. Then think about, do I need to go and take an office? Do I need a shop or do I need an office? Just kind of like overheads, plan and everything. Am I in a good place? Do I need to start thinking about employees' cost? You know, fixed overheads, that kind of stuff. So even if you're
Yeah,
running the business at home, you use laptops, you use a computer during the day, it will increase your electricity bills. So those are the things that you need to start thinking about. So yeah,
definitely. And I think it's important to set things up right from the very
yeah,
beginning in
yeah,
the right way. So having a
yeah,
separate business bank account, having your insurance in place, be
yeah,
that
insurance, yes,
split liability or professional indemnity or both.
yeah,
Um, understanding the financial terms, profit, loss,
mm-hmm,
revenue,
mm-hmm,
the types of words that you're going to need to understand and can be a little bit scary, if you've not been into finance or accountancy or anything like that before. But
mm-hmm,
actually
mm-hmm,
once you start to become familiar with the terms, then everything sort of falls into place and you understand it a lot better, and
yeah,
then you can really get to grips with what's happening in your business.
yeah,
And are you paying yourself? What do you intend to pay yourself?
mm-hmm,
Having
mm-hmm,
that in your business plan, and
yeah,
all of these things, because it's not the income, the sort of the revenue that comes in isn't the
mm-hmm,
only figure you need to know about. You need to
yeah,
know about your operating expenses and
wow,
all of the things, and also, as I've said, how are you going to pay yourself?
that is important. And I think that was what I mentioned earlier. Think about your finances, yeah,
So,
at least 18 months,
yeah,
18 months salary, just in case, 18
that's
months.
certainly a sensible thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, Michelle, just to add to what you're saying as well, talking about paying yourself, it's not that it's not gonna be like you start running a business today, you've got your first client, so all of that. It's not immediately that you start paying yourself, to be honest with you. And that's why it's important to kind of think about some finances to put some money aside to be able to run your home or to look after yourself. Because I just remember now in terms of thinking about outlining your marketing plans, because in that you need to think about promotion, your social media, thinking about your pricing as well. How will you price your products, your
Yeah,
services?
yeah,
Yeah, how does your products or services fit into the market? Those are
yeah,
the things. Sometimes you want to do promotion, sometimes you want to do campaign. All those stuff will cost a bit of not a lot of money. We're not trying to scare you. It's just to prepare to make sure you have the right thing because by the time you have this business plan, you then need to start thinking, am I ready now to start this
yeah,
business? So those
yeah.
are
It
the
just
things. Yeah,
completely focuses your mind in the right way,
yeah,
doesn't it? In the
yeah,
right direction. And
yeah,
actually, the things that might feel scary are probably the things that you look at something like the numbers or whatever it is, and you think, oh my goodness me, that really scares me. And that probably tells you that that's an area where you perhaps need some more information or some
Of
more
course.
knowledge.
Of
So
course.
actually by doing that, it's an opportunity, because you can sort of put some focus on the areas where you think, right, do you know what, I need to learn a little bit more about the finance, or I need to
That's it.
better understand how much equipment's going to cost, because I'm going to need X, Y, and Z to be able to run the business. Or
Yeah.
it's really giving you the answers that you need to make a
Yeah.
success of your business, isn't it?
Yeah. 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 And I think as well, I remember in times of, doing the business plan as well. So during my conversation with my business coach, one of the things she asked was, you need to think about your turnover per year.
Mm,
Start thinking about that. What do you want to make and your profits in a year? And that's scary. You've not even started business, but it's good to have that as well in
yeah,
terms of all of
so
that.
important.
So around that, even though if you don't get it, at least you know it's there because it helps you to work towards that goal.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what we're talking about. Yeah. And then you plan your operations. Put your vision to one side for a moment. What are the daily tasks that you need to do, you know, before you start running that business?
Mm,
So yeah, when do I want to start? When do I want to launch my business? Who are the people that I need to kind of get on board to make it
mm,
happen? Because with mine, I had the launch kind of a day that I actually launched that business for me, the day that I was ready. So yeah, it
mm,
wasn't a big thing. It was just few emails and WhatsApp to my
mm,
friends with their business websites and everything, and kind
mm.
of a bit of narrative for them to copy and paste to people that I know will probably
Yeah.
accept. Yeah. So
Gosh.
yeah,
That's like having a launch plan, isn't it? Having a launch plan, and
yeah,
but it's exciting. And
yeah,
I think, just to echo what you said earlier, this isn't to scare anybody. It's just to, forewarned is forearmed. You
yeah,
can prepare for anything if you're
yeah,
anticipating it as a
yeah,
possibility. And if you
yeah,
have your map, your roadmap of where you want to go, then you've
yeah,
got a much better chance of getting there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think Michelle, for you, I know offline we're talking about 60, 30, 60, and 90 business plan anyway, and I
Yeah.
think we've covered everything, isn't it? But I don't know if you want to briefly talk about the 30, 60, and 90-day business plan
Yeah.
before we wrap up.
I mean, essentially, it's about, for me, it breaks down overwhelm. So if you're starting the year, it's January 2025, and you're thinking, right, by the 31st of December, I want to have achieved X. And that's great. Having a goal is always a good thing to do. But there's a long time between the 1st of January and the 31st of December, and it can be quite easy to go off track, particularly if you don't have that clear plan. But even when you do, how can you really say, without breaking things down into much
Mm-hmm.
more manageable chunks, that what you do today will take you anywhere near where you want to be by the 31st of December? So the idea between the 30, 60 and 90 days is really that you're breaking the year down into its 4 quarters. And you're saying, okay, quarter one, 1st of January to the 31st of March,
Mm-hmm.
these are the things, the milestones that I want to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
each milestone being something that will take you towards that big goal. And then for each milestone, you'll have actions that you need to take. And if you break it down into the quarters, then you'll have a mini action plan for every
Mm-hmm.
quarter, but then another mini action plan for the first 60 days, sorry, for 60 days and 30 days. So
Mm-hmm.
you can literally say, milestone for the end of the first quarter is X, Y, and Z, and these are the things that I need to do, and these are the dates by which I'm going to do them within that quarterly window.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes things much more, it chunks things down and makes it feel so much less overwhelming
Yeah.
and so much easier to kind of link to where you're going further down the line. Um, so yeah, and actually I think it inspires you to take action.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And I think for me, for what you said, I think it helps to kind of maintain realistic expectations as well. You know, 30, what can I transfer from 30 to 60
Yeah,
to 90? And then you have a
yeah,
bigger one. I love that. And I think it will really, really beneficial for somebody just starting out
mm,
to kind of start with that. And I think with this, they can actually put this on Trello board. If you don't know, just go and look at Trello
yeah,
board. You can get a free one, you know,
yeah,
can divide it, have your 30, have your 60, and have your 90. And that's
uh,
it, really. I love that.
yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
But
Yeah.
actually, there is a book called The 12-Week Year.
The what?
12-Week Year.
Okay. Mm,
And I would so strongly recommend that to anybody who's thinking about how they plan their goals, because it
mm-hmm.
gives you this format, breaking the year down. Um, and I can't remember the names of the authors, but I remember because I've read it and then I listened to it. I really enjoyed listening to it better than I enjoyed reading it.
Oh, that's
But they
good.
were saying that in their research, they found that what people tend to do is if they've got a deadline of the 31st of December and it's 1st of January,
Mm-hmm.
then it's too far in the future and the action isn't taken until they're running out of time. And I think we can all probably identify with this from when we were at school or university where we had a deadline and we didn't touch the assignment until a couple of
2 days
weeks
before.
before. And then what people are then trying to do is fit in 12 months worth of work right at the end of the year, which is never going to happen.
Yeah.
And by breaking things down, their research showed that people were consistently taking
Mm,
action and achieving their milestones. So
mm,
come the end of the year, be it 31st of December, be it the 5th of April, whatever date you're using as your reference point, much more has been achieved.
yeah. I like that. Seriously, I I think in the last episode we did around it's Christmas time, we're talking about the Christmas plan and everything. So the last episode was just around Christmas, how to kind of look after yourself,
Yeah,
self-care. I talked
yeah,
about I don't do last minute. I don't like it, stress me, and also if I don't do last minute, the work is not done properly. So I believe in
yeah,
what is working at all is working well.
yeah,
So, and that was what I think in that episode I talked about the way I kind of do my planning and it helps me
yeah,
to break it. And I think it fits into your 30, 16, and 90-day plan, to be honest with you, because I do kind of like a review, weekly review
mm,
every week. So by the end of, say, January, we would weekly. So by the end of the last, the 31st of January, I then look
mm,
at what has been done, what needs to be achieved, what do I then need to carry over to February. So I transfer that, but that is my 1 month. So, and
mm,
I think by the time I look at January, February, March, isn't it? That's
mm.
my 60, 90 days, isn't it?
90 days,
60
yeah.
days plan. So what I think the way I do it, even though I didn't look at it in terms of I didn't look at it in terms of 30, 60, and 90, and I think that is what I'm doing. And it really helps me
Yeah,
in terms of by the time that then reach December, I've got
yeah.
everything that hasn't been done and then revisit my plan as well. Yeah, thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, no, and
Yeah,
I really admired
yeah,
the sort of the way that you described how you did that, because you
yeah,
talked about looking at what had happened or what needed to happen,
yeah,
writing things down,
yeah.
having clear. It sounded like you had real clear metrics, things that you knew that you'll know that you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
things that maybe routine, maybe thoughts and ideas that you've got about things that you're going to do, But by
Mm.
actually
Mm.
sitting down and making a point of looking at it regularly, then it means that it's in your mind,
Yeah.
and it's it's fresh, and because it's there at the forefront of your mind, you're much more likely to do what you need to do to make your
Mm.
plan happen.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. So I've got nothing much to kind of add. I'll just, from my own side, I'll just kind of want to say that um, as you write your business plan in 2025, keep in mind your strength. Keep in mind your strength and any area for improvement. So that was why I think going back to SWOT analysis again,
Mm,
because it will help you to construct a plan that makes the most ability of makes the most of your abilities, you know,
mm,
while being realistic.
mm,
And again, I'll go back to that 30, being realistic about 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And
mm,
then that is more likely to convince, any investors like bank that you're really
mm,
serious. Let me put it that way. So if
mm,
it's open like that. So and earlier on, we make definition that is a business plan is a roadmap for your business. But just bear in mind, it is not set in stone. It is there for you to review at least a year, or even if you think, actually, I'm going to break it down in chunk, like Michelle said, 30, 60, and 80, and you can make any changes,
mm,
if necessary. So, but for me, what is more important is getting feedback from people that you think they're closer to you that will give you a very good constructive feedback around your business plan. And with this help, you will create a business plan for your business, and it will take you to wherever you want to go, the direction that you think your business will go in
yeah,
2025.
yeah.
So, and that's it for me. I'll hand over to Michelle. So I wish you all the best in 2025 for whatever that you do and however the direction you want your business to go. And if you're starting out as well, yeah, all the best. Michelle?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's exciting, and it's something. It can all seem very daunting, but enjoy it. Be in the moment with it. And if you're stuck, ask for help. I think is the best advice, because there's
Mm,
plenty of people who've walked the path that you want to walk in that would happily help. So
yeah,
I think you're right.
mm,
Enlist people, ask for their feedback, get help where you need it, and things don't go quite according to plan, then make a new plan.
yes, yes. And also, we'll try to put the link or the name of the book that Michelle talked about, the 12-week
12
year.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll try and find that and then put the
yeah,
name of the author. Yeah.
great idea. Yeah,
Thank you and enjoy the 2025. All the best.
absolutely. Happy New Year.